These bowls were made in the city of Nishapur in the 10th century. Nishapur was a regional capital of the Samanid dynasty and a center of ceramics production. And scholars and art historians have long admired the black on white style of epigraphic ceramics that are generally attributed to the Samanid period. But this group of bowls is special because we didn't know of them until the early 20th century, when a series of excavations in the area of Nishapur unearthed this style of polychrome buffware. And they're called polychrome buffware for a few reasons. The first being that the clay fabric body of the bowl is distinctive. So unlike the other bowls produced in Nishapur, these ones have this fine buff clay fabric that constitutes the body of the bowl. And they're called polychrome buffware because of this really remarkable and vivid glaze that you see here in green, yellow, and black slips under a transparent glaze. A third thing that makes these bowls really distinctive is the figural imagery that you see decorating the interiors, which is in total contrast from the established understanding that scholars had about medieval Islamic ceramics, which was that they were these very spare, elegant bowls with maybe a single line of calligraphy on a heavily slipped white ground. And this group of polychrome wares really completely defies that understanding of Islamic ceramics and was a true revelation for scholars and connoisseurs and people who enjoy Islamic art. So the images that you see decorating the interior of these bowls are part of the Persian epic cycle of feasting and fighting. So you'll often see figures on horseback, dancers, wine drinkers, as well as animals that you might imagine are part of the hunt. This remarkable bowl is typical of Nishapur Buffware production. It features a sensitively rendered figure holding two floral wands in outstretched arms. The way his feet seem to float over the surface of the bowl suggests that he is a dancer in motion. He is part of a cycle of festive figures that appear on Nishapur buffwares and that scholars have associated with Iranian traditions of hunting and feasting, as well as the revival of the pre-Islamic Iranian epic mode. Another thing that makes these bowls really exceptional is that you find Christological imagery decorating the interior and exterior of some of the bowls. One of the more unusual buffware vessels in this group reflects the presence of a Nestorian Christian community in 10th century Nishapur. Nestorian Christians traveled along the Silk Road all the way to China, though some communities settled in Iran. The Nestorian cross appears 5 times on this bowl with its bifurcated ends and pearl-like ornaments alternating with stylized peacocks. Unlike the slightly flared walls of the other Nishapur bowls of this type, this chalice has distinctive upright walls. Along with the Christological iconography decorating the bowl, this may suggest a Eucharistic function. And so some of the bowls must have been made for the Christian community in Nishapur, given that they're decorated with these very distinctive Christological iconographies. But we can't be certain that all of them were produced by or for the Christian community, especially given the broad appeal and classical Persian iconographies that appear on the other dishes. So there was an initial shock after the excavations of the 1930s when these bowls were discovered, and they weren't immediately accepted into the canon of Islamic ceramics. But since then, there's been a real and burgeoning interest in these bowls and what they can tell us about 10th century Nishapur. And it really shows us that the potters in the Samanid realms were producing pottery for a variety of consumers who had varied and distinctive tastes, and that they were perhaps as interested in these vibrant figural wares as they were in the more restrained epigraphic wares that we know so well.